and shake hands, let that shit go. The young don't know how to do that, but the old heads do, because it costs money to beef. Okay,
Yeah.
so after that was all situated, and then for you to come do this, and you gotta go to jail, dude, that's not making any sense.
Man,
And
I'm just saying,
McDavid stood tall, you couldn't.
man.
And I'm not
Mm.
saying stood tall for people in the bushes. Oh, what she saying that he should have covered up Robert's wrongdoings? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when Don Russell first came out here, he said, no, I never seen him messing with no 14-year-olds. No, he never did that. How you gonna go on a podcast now and say that the people around him was paying people hush money because he know where the bones are buried? Rob was having sex with 15-year-olds. How you gonna do that to your man? I know his
Right.
mom gotta be hurt because his mom loved Robert.
I'm saying it. Just the timing of it is crazy. Like you didn't even have to do that, bro. You was on your way, like to get the fuck up out the way, man. Why throw salt on kills like that though? Like it's crazy, man. I'm at a loss for words with that one
And
because
then
that
I'm like, the platform ain't even big enough. So I'm like, oh snap. So maybe this what he about to do before he go in. Go do all these interviews and stuff.
yeah. That's the only thing that could remotely make any type of sense. Like I ain't even trying to, touch a cell. I'm just gonna try to do
Or
something
if
else.
he trying to separate himself because he's scared to go. Like you out here telling these people you Robert manager. But what are you doing this to separate yourself? So when you go to jail, you don't want nobody to think that you link with Rkelly. Like that's the only thing that I can think of too.
True, but
Because it is big when you go into jail. Like Ronnie said when I had the interview with him a couple weeks ago, that when Rob first got to Chicago, he went straight to PC. Because when you got charges of anything with kids, or if you got charges or they find out you snitching, I didn't know this in the feds, but he said the inmates, they kick you off the block because they try to
yeah,
keep the block respectful and everybody thorough and everything, like, you know, squeaky clean. But because everybody mostly from the hood, they know this is some bull crap. Ronnie said he spoke with the vice lords and GDs, and they was like, no, man, bring Kells up here, man. No, we know Kells ain't do that. So I'm thinking Don Russell must be trying to um, link, not link with him because he going to the jail, because he probably thinking people in the jail is calling, I guess, Rob a pedophile or whatever the case. And then by you out here saying a man messing with 15-year-olds, but then in the title you his manager, what are you doing?
right. Well, see that's a crazy like you said, he ain't never been in there, but like for somebody that have been doing this for 30 years in the city, you know what I'm saying, and go through Cook County unscathed and be in the feds on the block, he cool. So that kills any narrative that he been out here touching, because it's gonna be somebody uncle, somebody cousin, somebody you did
Yep.
something to what such and such daughter,
And now that
somebody
these
gonna
text
know
messages
somebody.
came out,
Right, somebody gonna know somebody that you did something to somebody family member that was a kid. If ain't nobody pressed them on that, then that speaks volumes to me, because like you said, it is a big thing with those type of charges, and you have to be, they are gonna have you separated
and
because
Ronnie said when the bull farmer attacked Rob, he said they went to the Latin Kings, the boss or whatever in the prison, and he was like, no, we ain't call that hit. He was like, that dumb nigga did that because he mad because we got locked in. So Ronnie did say that because the supporters came up there that day, and when they was outside saying bring them downstairs, and because see, I didn't show up to the next day, and remember 2 days after that, Robert got attacked, and he did say that they locked the guards tried to be smart, so they locked them down for 3 days straight. They couldn't go to shower, they couldn't eat, they couldn't go to rec, nothing, and it was already a pandemic. So he said they was pissed, and Rob was like, man, I can't stop them from doing what they doing, man. They grown. I ain't even tell them, to do that. I can't tell. And I felt bad when Rob said that, because I'm like, Rob, no, if he would have called somebody and said, yo, tell all my supporters and fans fall back from coming in front of the jail, they would have not did it. And he felt
nah,
like he
I
couldn't
gotta keep
tell.
them. I got to keep it real. Bruce came out here and said it. When he said it, I started telling everybody, I don't think it's a good idea to go back down there. Because,
Wait
you
a
know,
minute. So
once,
you think if Rob came out and said, "Yo, y'all could come in the back of the jail or anywhere else in Chicago, just don't come in," you think they wouldn't? They wouldn't have stopped?
maybe. But his brother said it's just, to me, that was enough for me. You know what I'm
That was
saying? To
enough
be
for you
like,
too.
yeah, that was enough for me to be like, nah, I don't think it's a good idea. Because I could just imagine being in that situation and
Right.
you
And when
know,
Ronnie said it, I'm like, damn, because he was like, the Latin Kings wanted to mess the bull farmer up. And he said,
mm,
for real, the guards popped their door. You know, when you lock down, you never supposed to pop all the doors. You do door by door, and each inmate get like 15 minutes out. Then once they go in, you let the other one out. And he said they popped Farmer door and Roberts at the same time. Rob was on a bunk, sleep. So he automatically got kicked out the jail, got transferred, and he was facing a double murder anyway. And that's another thing. He shouldn't even been near no cell with nobody with double murders. Like his
right,
charges wasn't even that. So he said no, that wasn't called for. They was all mad about that. They didn't send no hit. So it's not like nobody's trying to take him. And he did say it's 3 organizations that is protecting Rob. So no matter
right,
where you
yeah,
go, he said he gonna be good because he said everybody know now like this is bullcrap. He said when they seen the surviving Rkelly, they was thinking it was true. But he said once everything started coming out, they like, no, this is some. They set this man up. So I think that's
right,
what Don is thinking. Like he think he gonna go in there and be like, oh, people gonna be like, oh, you was with a pedophile or you, and I think he's scared.
right. I can kind of understand that, but it's a way you go about that. Like, you don't throw your mans under the bus, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand that frame of thought, but he in Chicago. He get the word. He know Kel's good in there. So if Kel's good, you definitely gonna be good. You know,
That's what
you
I'm
not
saying. Like,
right. You know what I'm saying? It's like
and you
you ain't
know, Don
accused of.
Russell really, no lie, not throwing shade and none of that. But 2 of his baby moms, he was messing with them. One was 16, the other was 17. He got both of them
That's
pregnant.
right. That's probably half the population in there. They like, well, shoot, my baby mama was 16. I
Right.
was 24.
Thank you. So
You know what
if
I'm saying?
you like y'all, I mean, and that wasn't because they, well, I don't know if they lied about their age. Probably most likely because I remember at the age I was lying about my age. But that's half of the population. So what makes you think that people in the jail that's black that know us, that understand us, is not going to understand what's going on out here with this stuff with Robert?
Right.
You
That's
could
why
have
it's
went in
so.
there telling the truth about what's going on. Like, yo, they lying on them. If anybody could have spoke, you could have spoke.
hmm That's why it's so important when they say a jury of your peers. It really got to be a jury of your peers, people that come from a familiar background, similar environment, so they have an understanding of the culture. Because I mean, like especially in Chicago, cities like that. I mean, that was the norm, especially around that time frame. You know what I'm saying? It was like it wasn't a thing. Like I always say, my sister was 17. She left home at 17. You know, her boyfriend turned husband was probably 24. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a big issue back then, though. You know, now they putting a magnifying glass on something that you know. That's why it's a statute of limitations because the culture shifts too. You know what I'm saying? So you can't hold somebody accountable and for something 30 years ago when it was socially, it was acceptable. You know what I'm saying?
Lil Mo said, I'm not seeing a reason to all this madness. I'm not either. She said, Como's have it rough in any jail. No, that's a real Como, though. That's them, not putting a race out there, but y'all know I'm talking about the Mexican skinheads that really be messing with kids. Like, for instance, the Mexican guy that had the girl in Milwaukee, she's 12 years old and he got her pregnant. He been messing with her since she was 10. The only reason they found out because when she went to have a baby, he was in the hospital with her. But at the baby shower, it's pictures all over Facebook. He in the pictures with her, so her family knew this. They was cool with it. They DHS got in it because when she had the baby, he was up at the jail with her, and he had to sign his stuff and all that on the birth certificate. And he was 46 years old, and she's 12, 13. So they locked him up in the hospital. But again, she was on Facebook a week before having a baby shower, and he was in the pictures at the house with the family opening gifts. So they knew this. And
Mm.
supposedly he was having sex with her since 9. Now that's a Como. That's the real one.
Yeah, that's a child, like for real.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
this girl was 13, bro. They said he was messing with her since 9, but I know a lot of Mexicans because I live around nothing but them. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and Mexicans. Mexicans, a lot of they do not care, and some Puerto Ricans they start dating them little young, and the families all know each other. They know the dad, the mom, the grandma, the cousin. Some of them live in the same house with the girl and or the dude, and man, it'd be a whole family affair. Then they wind up getting them pregnant like 9, 10 times.
Yeah. I seen it with my own eyes, like just going through Cook County. I seen in the bullpen going through processing. I'm gonna step out for a second, but yeah, the guards, they like when they get word that somebody like was a pedophile or something like that, the guards will tell the inmates, like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
him
what
right
he
there.
said.
And I
He said
man,
they
and
run
then
to jail. He said, because I'm like, wait a minute. I got mad a little bit on the interview. I was like, what you mean y'all told Rob he couldn't be on the block? What you talking about? He like, no, bro, rap, because we'll beat him the F up. I'm like, what? He like, no,
yeah,
not
that's
saying
real.
Rob. He like, but the inmates, they got a rule. You can't be on general
Right.
population. That's why I'm like, bro, they really don't know what they did to this man's life, man. You put this
Man,
man in
really.
jail to put this jacket on his name, and it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's sad. Like, all for what? And like you said, everybody that's in there, they listening to the what? Like, they don't even make no sense. So you mean to tell me this girl parent was pushing them all? No.
And now, since the text messages came out, and the mama said after damn near 6 months, oh, I think you should tell him now, because he assumes you of age. That's why he's all out in public with you. And when he find out, he's going to be mad, but he might still mess with you, but that's his choice. You can't assume, you got to tell him he's going to be hurt. So that tells you the mom, ooh, even the part where she told her, what you going to do when it comes to the concerts? Because I know his concerts is 18 and over. So she knew when they took her to the concert, she wasn't supposed to be there. And that's why I'm talking about the Savages too. Did you know that they left Joycelyn and the other sister, Jaya? She was 15, Joycelyn was 18. Did you know that they left them at Robert's concert with KG all the way to 6 o'clock the next day? Did you know that? Jeff?
Heard that. Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Did you know that?
I did. I just heard that. Like, I just heard that. I forgot
Yeah.
where I heard it at.
Yep. A lot of us been new, but because KG didn't come out here and speak it, a lot of us didn't say nothing. And the part about Johnson being in the room with Robert for 3 hours and coming out the room after 3 hours by herself, all that's true. And see, this is why I say that they play games, because they never told nobody that they dropped Joycelyn and the sister off at the concert and had a nerve to tell them, oh, tell him we'll be there to get y'all at 4 in the morning. Don't take y'all home because we out having drinks. Didn't lead them with no key. How did y'all expect for KG to keep them? He was a stranger. That's a grown ass man. And
Right.
luckily, him, Rob, and the team, the backup dancers and all of them, they made sure they was good. And they didn't come get them to the next day till 6 o'clock in the morning, bro. And Jaya was 15 at that time, a minor. They could have
Wow.
got KG caught up because he a tour manager. So he not giving tickets. He walking you up on the stage, getting you in. So he didn't probably think that Jaya was 15. They could have had a search in there or something that night. Found out that girl was 15. That whole club would have been in trouble.
Mm.
But they don't talk about that. The Savages want to make it seem like he just met her through the college thing. No, they asked KG to get them her daughters in the show. Why the mom ain't go? Why Tim ain't go? Why would you send a 18 and a 15-year-old to a freaky funk fest and Rkelly's the headliner? These parents are sick, man. These parents is sick, man. And like I said, every man can vouch for this. They got daughters or sons. If you are supporting your child's music career, everybody know that Robert writes and produces music. So many artists have paid for records from him, albums. Why these dads didn't go to Robert team? Yo, how much you charge me to get my daughter a EP or a one song, and you be on the hook or the verse or two? Robert would have gave him a price. They would have had to go in and record the song like Aaliyah did, and that could have been the end of it. These parents expected Rob to just how you expected for him to just sign her to a deal? Rob don't own a label. He's under a label. Rob is not a manager. He has managers. So they made it seem like this man was a manager out here looking for artists and signing them to his record label. He didn't have a record label. The only thing you can do is him produce your music. That's it.
Yeah. That's the first order of operations is what's your budget? You know, what are you trying to do? You want a feature? We going a EP. This is the price, but just to drop her off and say, I want you to work with us, like, okay, what
Which
you
is
giving me to work
right.
with?
Right. They act like this man owed them. Like, oh, he bet like he gotta work with her because she pretty. Like, I didn't understand it. None of them talk about that. No, they all say he didn't give us no money. He didn't give. But what did you give him? Your daughter.
Exactly.
How you doing,
And
brother
right.
Yeah.
Jeff?
And
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
How you
covered
doing,
in. I
Leslie?
gotta put my 2 cents in. Okay, you gotta remember, Sister Just Jazz. You know Rob in a different way, but these people, it's obvious they thought he was a slow. That's how they all thought he was. So they thought that all they had to do is just throw some coochie at him, a promise of coochie, and he'll give them whatever they
oh,
want.
I know that. But I'm saying so
That's what
when
that's
Rob
what
said
their
you tried to
problem
sell
is.
your daughter to me, don't act like y'all don't know what the hell he mean.
He's saying that now, but now we gotta help Rob keep his head right. Even though I know you feeling for Rob, this, that, and the other. We got Jeff. I'm so glad that guy got home. The buddy that you were waiting for, because Jeff used to tell us in the chat a couple of months ago that he's waiting for a guy to come home.
I
This guy
remember.
did 12 years, and
Mhm.
thank you. I salute you for being there for him. You're a
And
good
I
man
salute that man for standing tall and getting
and
out of that. And I hope
serious,
his mental be good after this, because
because
a
I
lot of
couldn't do it.
people it bothers their mental, man. You
So
put
Oh
him
we
back
got
in
to,
yeah.
society.
yeah,
Just to
we
give
got we,
just to give a quick update, he's doing
yeah.
pretty good. He's got his own barbershop.
Wow.
He's
There you go.
downstate. Yeah, I still politic with him. His head is pretty clear.
He
I
was
think
cutting hair in the jail.
yeah. He learned how to cut in jail, and then he came home. He got his own shop, and he's doing pretty good for himself. He got married, so he's doing good.
Mashallah. That's what's up,
That's a
man.
good thing, because I know some brothers who've done state and federal, and they say federal is better. That's one thing. But I found out that they were there after they did their time and came out, okay? Because they just wanted to do their time. They didn't want any contact with anybody from
Sound like my
out,
uncle. Yep, it's called
okay?
Max Out.
And it's relatives. And I can respect that and I can
I can
appreciate that,
respect it too. I love when guys
okay?
say, "Nope, I
And I
want to max
prefer
out."
that
You
because,
don't owe nobody
you're
nothing.
well, it's not only that, it's because whenever they do time, we do it with them,
Yeah, your
whether it's a
family do.
friend or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's a hard thing. So this thing with Don, what I'm thinking is, the only thing that Rob was, the finger was pointed at him was about Rashana Landfair and the crazy family, the Jezebels in the Landfair family. Okay, that's the only thing that I could think that Don. He's not lying. The girl claimed to be a minor, so Rob was found guilty of
No,
endangering.
that's not what he said. He said the people in
I'm
his
giving it the
team
benefit. Mm-hmm.
watched him. They were there while he was sexing those 15-year-olds. He didn't say 15-year-old. He said 15-year-olds. And
Well,
they
he
didn't do
and his
anything because he
team.
paid
What
them
is he
hush
talk? What's
money.
that? What's
He's
that?
he's
What's the
he's
team?
going at Will and them, and I hate that people keep trying to surround them as a camp and a team. That's the whole reason why
I
the,
know.
the
I know.
government says a criminal enterprise.
Yeah,
It
but
ain't no
see,
team.
that's
It ain't no
why
camp.
I know. But you gotta take it in. Sometimes we women don't say much. Just figure it out on the side. Okay. That, whatever they're trying to say, they want to get a rise out of people, make people say ooh ah. It's
Yeah,
no
well,
ooh
I'm
ah,
sorry, but
because let
Don
me
put a
tell
lot
you,
of people in situations. A lot of people got attacked out here. I mean, they attacked Texas Black Diamond to the core. Like I watched this lady go so hard in New York
me
where
too.
she
Yeah,
even lost her voice out there screaming, "Free this man and free Don Russell too." And even when they came at her with everything they could come at her with, this lady done beat cancer. This lady was going through surgery. Out of surgery, the same day, she coming on YouTube to give an update into pray that Don Russell make it good in court and all. Like, you don't do that to that lady.
every man for
Wow.
himself. There are no rules to this. Just as you don't know the
My dad
circumstances,
said
this man.
it ain't no honor amongst thieves, but this ain't
It's
that type of
true.
situation.
It is. It is. Wait. The rule is family first. He's got a family. He's just got a newborn.
It's a
Okay.
cold, man. Robert
No,
took care of him and his mother.
just as you and I and Jeff and anybody else in the chat, we understand that. But let's
Ain't no
not
rules
make.
to what he did. I can't justify that.
But we're
Do you not
let
know my kid's father? I'm even gonna get into the whole thing. I'm gonna just give it a little bit.
just
When he came home from Ramadan, it's going on 2 years now. Some people, my moderators, know about the case, some don't. But he's on his way home next month. Do you know that
mhm.
my kid's father just said damn near 2 years for a gun that he didn't even have? And I had so many people coming at me like, no, damn, like, Jazz, he should just tell. That ain't right there. His friends, da-da-da. He got one of the biggest lawyers in Philadelphia, for one. He know that the gun wasn't his. He just came back from Mecca and went to Alabama to see his homies. Three of them in the car. When they pulled them over, they found the gun like in the middle console. So they can't point whose it is, but the cops pointed it at my kid's father. The his man family from over Mecca, they were willing to extradite their family member over here. Well, get them over here, and he was going to go and do the bid because eventually he, was going through the motions that they had him this long because it was his. But when he come home, they got him for life because it's a code, period. And I kept telling people, my kid's father is never going to go say, oh no, I'm telling you, this person did this to put us in harm's way. Hell no. That man
But
will stand on his head and do 30. Okay?
that
It will come out that it's not his. And when it do, they will know he's innocent. And it has came to that. And he will be home next month. But my point is, when you came out here going hard for Robert, saying, no, I didn't see him doing this. No, he's not that type of guy. Everybody was of age. You don't come back and retract your story and say, oh, I don't care. My trial is over. His is almost so. I'm telling everything now. And then come out and say he had sex with 15-year-olds. That doesn't make any sense.
But wait a minute. It's not everybody's going to do that. And I'm just going to make a caveat for anybody who's listening. The story that Just Jazz is telling is just a thumbnail sketch. It's just what she thinks she knows. It's not all that it
What? About
is.
my kid's father? No, it ain't what I think I know. It's
No, no.
happening in
I
real
would
time.
like to keep it like that because
Oh, well, you can say
because
that. I stand on what I
of the
mean.
channel. That's I look out for you, okay? And and the kids.
And
You
I've
know
been
that.
going through
So
that since this whole thing with Robert.
I
And not
feel
one
you. I
time
feel
did
you.
I come and complain about what I'm going through, him in the feds, none of that.
I feel you.
But at the
But
same token, I really thought that Don Russell loved this man.
it's but just jazz.
What's the but?
Everybody has their own bottom to stand. You know, every bottle has its own bottom to stand on,
No, I get
to be
that.
on.
But when you got people out here literally doxing people, trying to put people in jail, all to support you that never
How
even
many?
met you in person,
Yeah, but who do you trust? Ever since I've only
Texas
been
Ray
on this
Diamond
thing.
trusted this
Wait,
man.
wait, wait, wait. I've been on this thing for a little bit over a year. I don't trust much of anybody on these
Even
YouTube
Debo
streets.
started going hard for Don Russell. Like, well, damn, maybe Don Russell ain't do the stuff that y'all saying. Maybe y'all taking this man
Yeah,
for another reason.
but
This is a slap in everybody's face.
Jeff is a man. Jeff, you understand what I'm trying to say?
No,
There's
he
got
said
to
it
be
too. He said it don't make sense for him to do that.
no. You all right? If we talk this through, but what I'm saying is, give the man the benefit of the doubt. He's going to do time,
So
or
you're
whatever
saying
he's
what
going to
Don
do.
Russell did is a good thing. It's okay.
Don't do that. That's not what I'm
I'm
saying.
asking you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm not
What are
saying
you
that.
saying?
What I am saying is, give that man the benefit of the doubt.
Give him
Let's.
the benefit of the doubt for what he just did
Those are words. This YouTube. This
on
is
a
La La
public
Land.
platform, and this man got to go to an appeal.
Because what I've seen on the YouTube streets with this
Oh my
R.
God.
Kelly sector is there's a bunch of people who are vicious. They backstab.
So you're
One.
gonna say give Don Russell. So if I come out here next week and say, you know what, Oko and them is right. This man is a pedophile. He was doing this. You gonna come out here and say, oh, give Jazz the benefit of the doubt. You know, still support. So, you know, like what? How you can
No,
justify
that's
that?
different. I
It's
justify
not.
it because this man's going to jail.
So if
Okay,
that was the case,
you're
I
you're
went to this man's hearings, his trials. He never took a plea, even when they lied and was saying he was working with the government. He did none of that. He called the prosecutors out in court, called them corruptions, all type of stuff.
okay.
He made
So
this
how
a
about
big
this?
thing.
How? Let me ask you this: who talked to him recently? Who talked
Ain't
to
nobody
Don
talked
Russell?
to him. I think after that Choke No Joke interview, he
Do
started acting
you
funny.
wait a
Because if
minute
y'all
now? How you
remember on
know?
that interview, he said Rob F the female and pissed on her. And Choke was
Okay.
like, wait a minute, did you hear what you just said? And he was like, huh? And everybody was like, yo, this man got to go to trial. What are you talking about? So basically, like he was saying on Choke's platform, that Rob did it. And then he started talking about some other stuff. And Choke was
Who's
like,
who said
that
that?
he
Who
seen
said that?
Don. He said he seen
Hmm.
Rob on tapes. You don't remember the Choke No Joke interview with Don Russell?
Right. I remember
And
that.
Choke was
But
like,
what?
yo, dude, did you just say that you seen R. Kelly on tape having sex with
Okay.
people?
So I'm going to ask you this right now. After all that we've gone through to this point with Don Russell, if he says what he just said recently, right? Do you believe that? Which one do you believe? What he said before, or when he kept his mouth shut,
I
or
said what he said
which
before.
one
I
do you
believe
believe?
that. But I
That's what
could
I
tell
believe.
now either somebody shaking him up or he
That's what
really
I
don't
just
want to do
said.
this. No, but you didn't say it
I
like
said
that,
who
sis.
was
You're
talking to
saying
him. I said who
give
talked to
him
him.
justification for what he's doing. I still
See, I
don't
don't.
give him justification for
When
it.
you said somebody shaking him up, I'm saying that I'm trying to say
No,
it nicely. Like,
Jeff,
did
Jeff
somebody talk
said,
to him?
me and Jeff said, I think that probably he probably don't want to do the whole 20 months. So his lawyer probably fighting for him to do like probation and house arrest. Cause that ain't no time. He can work that off on probation and not go to jail and
Thank
house
goodness.
arrest.
Right, but thank goodness, all that he's saying, he might want to make a book, write a book, or to
I
maybe
just
sell a
said that.
story
He
or
probably
something
gonna come
like
out
that.
with a book.
That's on his side. But notice how he said, "Well, Kelly's case is done and my case is
No, he
done."
didn't. No, he didn't.
I thought I
He
heard him
said
say that.
my case is done. His is almost. So he must have
Almost
did this
done.
interview
Almost done.
while Robert
Right.
was going through the Chicago case. But like Jeff said, this man got to go through an appeal. And Don Russell is one of the main factors in this New York appeal that Jennifer is about to do opening briefings Monday.
but they're not going to use him as a
Yes,
witness,
they are.
or
He's a main part of the New York case. Why you think they had Faith Rogers' mom testify? Why you think I'm saying
okay,
Don Russell should have got the evidence of the mom on a platform saying that
she's going.
it wasn't no gun and stuff?
What do you mean, Faith Rogers? Because there's no new evidence
Faith
coming
Rogers'
in.
mom, they had her testify in Robert's New York trial for the witness intimidation, saying that
Right,
Robert sent Don Russell to try to silence Faith from testifying. Robert
right.
sent Michael Williams to burn the house up to stop Azriel from testifying. All this was brought up in the New York case.
Now, what part of what Don Russell says is can be used for the appeal?
What?
He wasn't in the case,
No, it could be
so
used
so they
that
can't introduce that.
he was. Oh my God!
No, no,
You
no.
didn't
I'm
hear what I
asking.
just
I asked
said.
you. You said
This is
no.
why they brought Faith Rogers' mom in to testify against Don Russell. This is why they brought up the Michael Williams thing. This is why they Michael Williams took a plea. She gave him 8 years. This is why they got all of them out of here and they got Robert last. This is why Don Russell kept postponing his, I guess, to try to go all the way behind Robert. Now I remember a couple people had came out and was like, when a person start cooperating with the government, like Larry, for instance, when he told on his co-defendants and them, do you see how they arrested his co-defendant first, his co-defendant went to trial and all that first, and Larry got sentenced last. Larry didn't go to trial, none of that, because he pleaded guilty and he, gave them
He
information.
worked with the
They
government,
said
right?
usually when the person that's telling, they go last. The people they telling on usually go first because they use the information that the people that told in those people cases. So everybody kept saying because Don Russell was last that he was working with them, and so I did my due diligence, and I'm like, I'm going to his trial. I went to Michael Williams because it's not too far from me, so I'm like, I gotta go see for myself. And then some of the ladies that's my moderators, they was here with me during the pandemic. We was on one line on Robert's court, on the other line on Don Russell's. And no given time, even when the government called out like twice, we still have the offer on the table. And Don Russell was like, no, he's not taking no. I mean, they offered him like 3 times a plea. He was not going for it. He even fired one of his lawyers in New York when he got the lady lawyer before he got the last one, the man, and was in the court hollering, Your Honor, this is corruption, this whole
Okay,
case. And
okay, okay, okay,
like, so he
okay.
was on the side of Robert. He was
Right,
on
right,
the
right.
side of this is all because of Robert's money. He was on a whole side of that. So for you to say F this, I'm telling everything. And that's just a sneak peek of what they put out. We don't know everything that he said in
Well,
there.
wait a minute. So I'm saying what I'm saying to you. I didn't hear anybody say anything about Don Russell in Robert Sylvester Kelly's case.
Because half of the people that you associate on here didn't go to trial. Why do you think they had Faith Rogers' mom? And that's why when I went to Don
No,
Russell
no. But
trial,
what I'm saying is that the appeal is limited to
oh
Robert
boy.
Sylvester Kelly's case, right?
But
So Don,
Don Russell was in. Why you think they all had Judge and Donnelly? Why you think they all had Judge and Donnelly? Why you think that after Robert, that's when they went to Don? They had the pretrial. They said, Your Honor, we're ready to take him to trial. Don Russell's lawyer tried to postpone it. The prosecutor was like, Your Honor, we only need 3 days. She was like, 3 days. Yeah, because they had everything they needed from Robert's trial. Robert was convicted. All they needed to do was bring the evidence that they had of Faith Rogers' mom testifying about the witness intimidation and all the other stuff that the Savages said that that Don was witness intimidating them. They brought all of that to Don Russell's trial,
that's
even
Don
though it was
Russell,
only about the
sister,
bomb.
sister. I'm waiting for that brief from General
That's why when I told
Jennifer
you when Doug
Bonjean.
Anton put in the motion, I think I got it right here.
Okay.
When Doug Anton put in that
Jeff, you
motion,
still with us?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
when Doug Anton put in this motion on Don, this is why, in my opinion, that Robert lost the bond. Doug told everybody, if you find any information that can help my client, here go. Um, bring it to me and I'll see if we can use it to help him. So I think Sylvia, a couple others was bringing Doug's stuff, but they didn't know that Doug used it to um um put it towards Don in a bad light. They thought they were helping Robert. So Doug puts this motion in to the prosecutors. It says, so with this knowledge, it was clear that Robert Kelly did not either draft or file the purported answer or that October 22nd, 2018 letter that is attributed of having come from him. So, for example, the Faith Rogers civil case, when she had Lee married, it was a letter that was sent to her lawyer saying for her to stop with these accusations, or that's going to make them have to move forward legally, and that they had, like, I guess guys or people that was going to come forward to speak on her situation or whatever. So this is Doug saying Robert didn't give permission. Robert didn't write this, because that letter was from Brian Nix, which was Robert's lawyer. But Doug is trying to make it seem like in this motion it was from Don. So he says Mr. Kelly is clear that he heard about the case, but never saw nor knew of the actual complaint. Answer or October 22nd, 2019 letter. He never hired an attorney to answer it, and it was not until only recently that he retained my office for this matter, and I employed my co-counsel in this case. So he's trying to say Robert never hired Brian Nix. He only hired him and Tom, but that was a lie. Then he said, respected attorney Tom Fernello, to address the New York State case, which makes the same claims as the particular Jane Doe makes in this federal criminal matter in the Eastern District of New York. Never before, Mr. Kelly makes clear, did he hire counsel for that matter or give anyone the authority to act on his behalf in that matter. He advised only that Don Russell and others told him about it. My office sought to reach out to Don Russell in late 2019. What, if any, involvement Mr. Russell had in the two documents mentioned above? Don Russell refused to speak to my office about the item specifically. It would not confirm. Instead, Mr. Russell kept rambling on and about being a sovereign citizenship and other absurd statements and comments, along with Kevin Terrell, Sylvia Tyson, Felicia Michelle
Sylvia
Johnson,
Tyson.
Hollywood Next, Team Next, One Papoose, Texas Black Diamonds. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell y'all. At the end of this,
What?
Doug Anton gave Dana J this motion. The only names that um Doug Anton had in this was Don Russell name. When Dana started beefing with Sylvia, Texas Black Diamond, One Papoose, Hollywood Next, and them, Dana put out this motion again, and it had all of these people names in it. But that wasn't the original motion that went to the prosecutors. So that's why I forgot. That's why all of their names was in the bottom, because Dana was trying to say that Doug Anton told the prosecutors that all of these people also played a part in the stuff that was going on. But no, this is the rough draft copy, the second motion, but this was never entered in Pacers. This was never entered in what Doug put in. Dana put these people names in there and then said Doug Anton did it. Now, you heard Doug just say that he talked to Don Russell about it. Don Russell never talked about anything. All he kept rambling about was him being a sovereign citizen. And he's trying to say that when Brian Nixon them put a cease and desist into Lifetime and a cease and desist into uh Faith Rogers, that Robert never gave them permission, or he never even knew about the complaint, but he didn't know about letters 1 through 2. And it was another legal document that went to Lifetime saying cease and desist, which is a legal document. Robert did hire Brian Nix, but you heard Doug Anton just say he didn't. But now I'm gonna let y'all listen to this audio where Doug Anton is going to say, I talked to Don Russell and I talked to Brian Nix. But in this audio, in this letter, he said he didn't. And he said then when he did talk, that Don Russell was like babbling and that Robert didn't get him permission. So what the prosecutors did, they played Doug. They came back with a motion and said, oh, so your client doesn't know him? Oh, so your client didn't give no other lawyer permission to write these documents to Faith Rogers, because remember she put out a civil suit first. Then the Eastern District of New York criminal case came. They came back with a motion showing the text messages between Robert and Don. And then the video of Texas Black Diamonds, where Don went on there showing the text messages and the pictures and stuff that Faith was sending to Robert. That's how Don got indicted, and that's how Robert, in my opinion, lost his bond.
But
And to me, Doug Anton didn't converse with his client, because why would you write in an emotion that Rob don't know him? Rob ain't talked to him. Rob just said Don Russell and others said that it was a complaint out, but that's all Robert knew about. When all of these documents was sent in to Faith Rogers' lawyer.
Wow. I gotta
well,
I gotta charge my phone, ladies, but I'm gonna try to come back a little later once I get some charge on it though. But I'm gonna be tuned in though.
okay. Well,
No, you good?
the bottom
Because I'm
line
about to
is,
show this. Go
yeah,
ahead.
the bottom line is
Okay.
that I would hate to think is that Jennifer Bonjean would even include Don Russell at this point
She's going to
in
have
the
to
appeal.
speak on it. And now that if she probably get this,
Why?
it'll
It's not.
probably help her now, because she can, like, I guess, be like, oh, he was a mole the whole time or whatever, because he's in the New York case. This is the whole reason of why they charged Robert with them other two charges for Faith Rogers. They couldn't find Michael Williams with the intimidating Azriel when they tried to find out if he had any connection to um the pages that were saying kill Azriel, F Azriel. Somebody made accounts, and
Okay,
Larry
okay.
and
A motion is just the application to the court, from what I understand. And so, when you're saying to me in the New York case that Jennifer Bonjean is going to appeal, was there any kind of testimony given from Don Russell?
they didn't need Don Russell.
Okay. Did anybody mention anything
I
about?
said Faith Rogers and her mom testified.
They testified in New York, and they started saying something about Don Russell. But does that mean that we need to hear from Don Russell? I don't think so.
No, they didn't need him. They had the testimony.
Exactly. Okay, they have that testimony, but is that what Jennifer Bonjean is appealing?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. This is the whole reason of why Robert got the charges
I'm
of
not following you.
the threatening witnesses to stop them from testifying. They said that he had, this is the whole reason of the enterprise, that he had a criminal enterprise who he was telling people to do this and do that.
Well, so what does
And
she need Don Russell for? I mean,
I
all
never
she
said she needed them. I never said that. You brought up that, Phil. I said, why would he be doing this? And she's doing Robert's opening brief
I know.
Monday for New York. She's going to have to bring up Don Russell for the simple fact she's got to bring up Faith Rogers.
She might have to bring up, the name might come up,
There's
but
no doubt. He's his
but
co-defendant. He's
but
a part of the criminal enterprise.
okay, okay. He's a named co-defendant see, because that's so long
That's
ago.
why when Don Russell had the trial, I was like, damn, why they didn't have Faith Rogers' mom testifying here? But when the prosecutor said on the pretrial, the judge was like, so you're not bringing in any of the victims? She was like, no, Your Honor, because we don't want them to have to go through any more of this testifying. We have the evidence here. We'll present what the testimonies were in the previous trial, because um, Mr. Kelly has been convicted, found guilty. So we're going to bring the testimonies in here. And that's why I was like, damn, they don't even got no wit. They literally only took 3 days. The longest was because they were trying to find a jury. But they basically wanted to slam Robert, and then they felt like, okay, now we can go slam Don Russell. Because I didn't understand. I'm like, why wouldn't Faith Mom and them be testifying for Don Russell trial? They're the ones that saying he went intimidated. But they said in the New York that Robert, this was his associate, and that he sent them. And because Doug, dumbass, said that Rob didn't know him and all this, they brought out the text messages between them. How you don't know him, and Rob is talking to the mom and talking to Don. There's messages of the mom saying, you better talk to Rob before you go do stuff, because you know Rob you don't talk to Rob about stuff and you just go do stuff. Rob don't approve of that type of stuff. Stop doing stuff without talking to that man first. So she was basically telling Don, you keep going to go do stuff and all this. Talk to Rob first. Don't just be going to do nothing on his behalf or nothing and you don't go talk. They brought all that inside the indictment.
You know what I'm gonna have to do? I would like to look at the indictment from that New York indictment. That's one, and then the decision to see how it ended up. You know what he was found. I mean, that was a convoluted thing, and I'd love to see her brief.
What you say?
You know what she's coming up with, how what she's appealing.
I'm sorry, what you say?
No, I said I'd love to see her. I'd love to see her brief what she's appealing.
Her dad died, so she was supposed to do it today, but out of respect for her,
Yeah.
She's in Florida, so she said she has to fly out there. And I thought it was too soon. Like, damn, get a lady some time to mope and stuff with her family. But shout out to her because all she told him is she just needs the weekend and she'll go right back to the briefing Monday. So shout out to her because she ain't even getting no time.
Yeah, all of a sudden you got low.
He died yesterday. So let me let you hear this audio.
Okay, so let me just go. I'm in the middle of a bunch of stuff, so let me just say this. All right, so I got some calls over the last couple of days. You know, Daniel J, he's setting up on the microphone. He's doing this. Did you take the microphone at the court hearing the last time in Chicago?
Did I do what?
Go in front of the press and say stuff?
Oh, what happened was when I got off the elevator,
right?
For the lady at CBS snatched me in front of the camera, and she was like, "Hey, I've been following you." And the only thing I said was Rob was like God's gift to the world. He was being falsely accused. That's pretty much
I didn't see what it was. Did you say, and again, I have no problem with it necessarily, but did you say I'm his spokesperson?
No.
Okay. All right. So you got to be very careful because everything you do, this Me Too movement is going to try to, bring anybody standing up for Rob down. So the girl who called me yesterday, I don't even know who it is, was the second person who called me. I understand the first one recorded me. I didn't even realize she was recording. But that's fine. I don't really care. I didn't say anything bad. But she said that, well, just so you know, Mr. Anton, Dana J, we're going to file criminal charges against him and put on social media that he is sexually assaulted this girl. I said, first of all, I don't represent Dana. Second of all, why would you want to put something like that in social media? If someone has a real claim to make against somebody, go to the prosecutor, talk about it, do whatever. Because let me tell you what happens. If you make it in social media and you defame somebody, then you go to the government, the prosecutor.